Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Movie Social. We're your hosts, Ricky and Steph.
What up, what up, what up?
And today on Movie Social, we're going to be doing a spoiler review for the new Netflix movie, Moxie, which aired on Wednesday. Well, this past Wednesday, I should say.
Yes.
And before we actually get into that review, if you like what we're doing on this channel with these reviews, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your family and friends. Alright, so Moxie has some serious moxie in it. Now, I wasn't expecting the cast that they had. This is more of a comical cast, but this wasn't a comical show completely. They had some comedy, but it was more had a serious undertone to it.
For sure. Oh man, there's so many things we can unpack in this movie. It was a great movie, by the way.
Definitely was. Within the first 5 minutes, it had my blood boiling badly, especially with our star student athlete here, as they would probably say for
star butthole.
That's what I was gonna say. He had my blood boiling because he's a piece of work.
Yes.
It reminded me. You know what who he reminded me of? From 13 Reasons Why.
Well, Bryce.
Yes, he did. He was a skinny Bryce Walker.
You can see it. I mean,
and the fact.
He did what he did, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
I mean,
but our first introduction of him cutting off a student that was talking and then tried to undermine her opinion. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And the teacher letting him do it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? And you could see it was one of those schools where the testosterone controlled the school. Even the principal, which is crazy.
Oh
my God.
We'll get to her. We'll get to her. Because I have so many things I need to say about her. We will get to her. But continue just giving us a little recap synopsis really quickly here.
No, it's just the whole premise of this was about the inequality at that school and possibly in that town for the most part between the men and the women for the most part. That's basically, in my opinion, the main premise of this whole movie.
Honestly, if I had children, would definitely want my daughter and son to watch this together.
Oh yeah.
So they can know, like, how you should treat each other or the other gender and stuff like
that should be taught at home.
For sure.
Regardless.
For sure.
I mean, maybe if we had a lot more people doing that now, you wouldn't have some of these problems going on.
Yeah, because I mean,
and it also played in them about race too.
Oh yes, definitely played in race. So let me just get on this kid for a minute.
I see what you're doing too, Netflix. First Jenny in Georgia with all this, and now Moxie. You ain't slick.
One of the worst things my grandmother told me that you can do to anybody is spit on them. For him to spit in her drink.
Yeah, I wanted her just to grab the drink, okay, pour it all over him, and then just punch him in the face with it.
I wanted her to just grab the drink and just throw it at his face.
No, I wanted her to pour it all over his head after he spit in it and then punch him in the face.
Because you have to be a disgusting human being to spit on anything that belongs to anybody else or anyone.
We did find out how disgusting he was.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to find out how disgusting he was.
And I kind of wish they would have continued the movie after finding that all out a little bit more. Because, I mean, we see... Well, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, everything about him yelled what we found out.
Mm-hmm.
Everything yelled to him that he was racist.
Yeah, I wanted to see who his parents really were.
True.
We didn't really see his parents at all.
That is true. Everything you just got the early warning signs from him, and it's just like everybody was just like at first just brushing off. That's who he has always been. But just because you've always been this type of person doesn't mean that it's okay.
And it's acceptable. Like most people in that town was all accepting to everything until a black female came to that town and school to start stirring things up. I mean, she wasn't the main stirrer of the pot, but she was the tipping point of the stir.
She was mixed.
She was still black.
Black and mixed. She was mixed.
I don't care. Just like in Jenny in Georgia, 1% is all that matters.
True.
I mean, hey, back in this day, remember, they tried to knock you for being, if you had 1% of black blood in you, they considered you black then and tried to discredit you.
I apologize. You're absolutely right.
Right now.
You're absolutely right.
And listen, her skin was dark enough anyway. So,
Nothing
right. Against dark skin, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get you. You're absolutely right.
But yeah, I mean, until that happened, everybody was just okay. We're just going with the motions.
Mm-hmm. And then someone, one of the main character here got a little motivation speaking from what her mom did as a person in high school, a teenager, and she became that rebel.
In a way, though, she kind of annoyed me a lot too.
With the way she was treating her mom?
Not even just that, the way that she, especially towards the end when she blew up again on everybody, the guy that liked her and that she liked blows up on him.
Who was actually he was supporting her through and through.
Blew up on her mom, blew up on everybody. Instead of just being open and honest with them from the beginning. Now, granted, I understand they're trying to tell a story. They had to build everything up to a certain point to be able to put all the pieces together. But, I mean, Gene's idea of the way they went about doing things. But, yeah, let's get on that principle.
Hey, yo, yeah, so our principle could have prevented a lot of this.
I mean, everything could have been prevented thanks to this principle. But the principle... Which
the behavior.
I wish we'd have found out that the principal was related to this boy, which would have made this even crazier.
Yeah, but the principal for sure condoned this behavior, because when the girl was like, "He's harassing me," and she's like, "We
don't want to use
that word, then that means that I have to do a lot of work."
Let's just say he's messing with you, and then I can have a conversation with. Hold on, what? When a female says a male is harassing them, especially at school, and it's one definitely could be a racial problem too, because she did kind of lean it towards that too as well, and you do nothing about it, you should lose your job immediately and face some charges as well. Because if she comes back to the school one day and shoots him, you're going to try and press charges on her, but she sent you guys warning signs ahead of time.
That's equivalent to someone telling a police officer that so-and-so has been raping me or touching me or whatever the case may be, and the cop saying, do you really want to say that?
But that has happened too in real life.
It has, but I'm not making an excuse for it, but it's just terrible.
No.
If this is your job, when someone brings you something to your attention and you're a person in authority.
I mean, why do you think we've seen so many school shootings and stuff like that? For multiple reasons, of course, government, lack of responsibility with gun control, but also a lot of times there's warning signs from teachers and principals don't care to acknowledge or try to ignore because they don't want to deal with the true issue.
Which is ridiculous.
And luckily for this, Netflix didn't take it in that route, because I think we've seen enough of that route happening with 13 Reasons Why. But they took it into another way, because this really could have gone either way with the way he was treating people, every female in that school.
And then the whole
when they came on with that list, that part really bothered me.
Oh, when she was like, it's just a social media thing. Like,
yeah, I'm like, it doesn't matter. Social media, if it relates into school, that's still a problem. I've seen so many schools use social media as a reason to expel students, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You couldn't go and care about none of that, all because you didn't want to interfere with your precious football team captain, who wasn't winning nothing. That's the crazy thing. It's the soccer team.
Yeah, it was a corny football team anyway.
Yeah. Oh, pause. 1 moment. We got to talk about the token black guy who pissed me off every moment. I'm like, you are the epitome of a token black guy in this show. Well, this movie here.
I didn't even want to talk about him because he got on my nerves.
The
thing was, what I was thinking was, maybe because of where we grew up at, and like the where he grew up at, I'm like, that's not how I would act towards situations.
First of all, he had no proper home training.
Doesn't seem like
because
that whole thing when he
has to be mixed, probably. He has to be mixed, and they probably don't have that kind of upbringing as we have had,
bro.
For his character,
when he sat in that girl's chair and like purposely said, "Oh, you can sit down here with me." Come on now.
I mean, students have done that. Period.
Huh?
I've seen students do stuff like that. Period. But for the fact of how he was going along, supporting him the whole time, even when you could see things weren't cool, and it's okay, like really, And then when they did the asshole stickers, his response to it, like, really? And that's what really made me mad too, also about the principal. Piggybacking to her, how she was quick to want a response and take action against them with the Moxie group, but you don't take action against stuff that is being brought to your attention about harassments and problems with other students.
Mm-hmm. Like that whole scene where when it was at the rally and the boy just walked up on a girl and grabbed her ass. That's sexual assault in the vicinity of the principal.
In a school, and it's sexual assault on a minor.
Yeah, it's like, are you serious?
And that whole list, whew, that should have got all of them expelled.
Yeah.
But in the end, we find out that our leader, the captain of the team and all, was a rapist. Raped his girlfriend. Now, I wish we...
prom, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because you could see the principal really almost did not want to do anything about it. She was...
Yes.
But she had no choice but to have to at this point because everything was mounting too much.
And it was recording. They were recording what was going on.
It was all live streamed.
Wonder if someone would say that they was raped at prom and you just don't do nothing about it.
Oh, she's probably going to lose her job, but she would have definitely lost the job if she didn't do anything. I really wish they would have shown what happens to him after she calls him to the office, because I felt like that we deserved a little bit more insight to his punishment for all the trouble he caused everybody in that school. And it's crazy how one person controlled that whole school. It's horrible, but it was great movie.
It was
very good movie. Because I mean, in the end, you found all the females grew some strength. You even had some male support backing them up, and that walkout, it's real good.
Even had the teacher support him at the end there.
Which, I mean, he had no choice because he was on a slippery slope himself for a while.
Where one of the comments, that was a funny point though.
Her with the clothing.
And then where he just like, oh, I gotta use the bathroom, I'm back.
He wanted no parts. I mean, I understand. See, but at the same time, I understood where he's coming from, because it's like you're in a position as a teacher where it can go either way for you. You support the girls, you lose your job. Now, granted, yeah, you lose your job for something right and worthy, but you also, it could affect you getting another job too. So you're on the fence of, do I do what's right, or do I try just to not be a part of it at all? And for a lot of these issues, it's never good to be not a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pick a side. You can't be on the fence.
Because, I mean, at some point, it does come back to affect you either way. And luckily, as he quickly seen, it was going to affect him because they was going to still push the issue until he picked the side. But I'm glad they finally grow a pair at the end to support them, and just wish he'd have acted sooner, because he might have been able to be the one to stop some of this early on if he'd have been voicing his opinion about the student to the principal as well. Because some of the bullying that was going on in front of staff was just really horrible. But if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. I don't know why you watched our review first without watching it, but thank you for watching either way. But if you have watched it, what are your thoughts and opinions on this episode, this movie? Let us know in the comments below. Also, how did it make you feel? Did it get your blood boiling? Let us know. And what are these eyes? This came off of Women's Month as well. So, nice woman empowerment type of movie.
Oh, for sure.
Let us know what you guys think about it. Until next time.